Fire away, guys.
What was that last, 5 minutes like? It wasn't a field goal made in the last 5 minutes by either team. Just what was it like there where nobody could really seem to get anything going except at the foul line?
I thought you were going to ask me how bad the game was, the first and the 40 minutes.
We can get to that later.
No, I mean, first of all, Weber State, I told their coach, Coach Duff, he's become a pretty good friend of mine. They got a wonderful team. They got pieces that really fit. I like watching them play. When they play basketball, they play the right way. They can shoot the ball. But the thing that is very undervalued with their team that these other teams in their league are getting ready to find out is they impose their will like no other on the glass. And that was the glaring stat of the game, right? I mean, I thought we got physically manhandled. I thought we played very entitled. And we had, talked about this for 3 days. But, in today's landscape of rev share, transfer portal, college athletics, it's not like the old days where it's, you're schematically, it's a lot of mental, right? It's a lot of trying to motivate a group of guys, 10 new players to get them to understand how good these teams are, how hard winning is. And we haven't went through it yet, right? So we'll get better from this. But it was painful, 3 for 23. That's misery. My teams. I don't know when the last time we've done that. It was tough to watch. But I give Colby a lot of credit. I thought Gary, KT, those kids played really, really hard. But I thought Weaver played awesome.
Coach, playing with that pace is a big part of your identity. Obviously, with all those fouls, you can't really do that as much. Forces you to execute in the half court. Just how do you feel like the execution in the half court and exploiting those mismatches improved throughout the game?
Yeah, I mean that's a really good question. We're work in progress. We're not there yet offensively. We're having to play two big lineups. Tuck's got to get tougher. I mean that's just the bottom line. Him and Adlan Alameen, they've got to get tougher. Tuck's done a great job with his body, but he's got to get tougher. I thought MJ and Mason really, really struggled. I hadn't seen Falslip play like that in a year and a half since I've coached him. You got to give credit to Weber State. They really did a good job on him. So it's a work in progress. We got 2 days to get ready for UTEP. I got a chance to watch them last night. They're going to be in the passing lanes. Elijah Perryman, obviously, and Jordy Barnes are going to be a part of that game. Drake will probably be out, high ankle sprain. But we've got to cut better spacing. And I thought our offense was not very good.
How much do you think the physicality that Weber State played with impacted the offense, especially early on where it really was slow starting?
Yeah, I mean, they really they hit you. Mick Cronin gave me a great line about a month and a half ago. We had a great conversation, and he said, you can't win a game without winning the fight. Now, we can't physically punch people in the face and, deliberately, have blows like boxing, but we can deliver good screens, good box outs, a physicality, right? They won the fight tonight. Weber State won the fight for about 32, 33 minutes, and then we finally fought back the last 8 or 9. I thought Colby King was awesome. He really owned it. He didn't think he played that well against VCU. He gave up 10 points in 10 minutes, right? So we didn't play him a lot. The bottom line is, guys are going to get rewarded. And it's just, it's the entitlement. I thought we played very entitled, and that's not how we play basketball, right? We don't, take quick shots. We share the ball. We get to the next advantage. We play physical. We get the blockouts. We didn't do that, and we got to get back to the drawing board tomorrow because what happens is these games happen so fast, right? And each game you're going to learn a little bit more about your team. And you got to stay off social media. Like, I love you guys. You guys have been fair to me. You love the Aggies. You guys write great stories. We got numbers guys. I read your articles based on, the analytics, but not your opinions, right? And I think our guys really, really value too many people's opinions. I hear they say they're up on social media and they can't sleep. For what? Who cares what people think of you? You have to be very process driven. And that's what becoming a team is, right? When you start believing the hype, you're going to get knocked down. And I shared an article about the Oklahoma City Thunder They've got a very young, hungry team. It was on ESPN today about staying process driven and staying in the now, right? And I think people overstep life. They're always worried about the future. And I say, guys, 1.2% of college basketball players are going to the NBA. That's it. Enjoy the experience, because most of you guys are going across the pond. You're playing overseas basketball in front of very few people the first couple of years, and you're back to square one. Play good basketball. Let the defense tell you what you need to do offensively, and play a team game, and who cares what people think of you on social media. I think we started reading our clippings too much.
Coach, weren't pleased with the offense. One area that you saw major improvement was the turnovers, which I know was a really pressing issue these first couple of games. Just what do you think led to more efficiency in that area?
Yeah, I mean, we make them run a lot, at practice. It's 5 turnovers, and then they got to run a 22. It resets to 4. Weber did a great job. I mean, they didn't really let us get out and run a ton, and then when we had threes, I mean, we couldn't hit it. I mean, literally, we had wide open looks and just couldn't knock them down. So we got to continue to do that. We should have had probably 25 assists. If you make, we missed 23. That's hard to do.
I mean, you mentioned the three-point shooting, but one area where you guys weren't cold was inside the arc, where you were 19 of 26 around the rim, I think 29 of 46 on 2-pointers overall. Just how important was it that in at least that area you guys weren't shooting cold?
Yeah, I mean, Gary and KT, really, Jason, I've said this, we're different from last year. Each team's different. Auburn was one of the best lob threats. He was 6'11", and you could throw pick-and-roll lobs like no other. These guys are different, right? Each set of kids is different. They can score the ball around the basket. And if we don't make shots, like the last 2 games, guys, we're averaging 4.5 threes. Like, that's horrendous. That's about as bad as it gets, right? I mean, we made 6 against VCU. We made 3. We're winning ugly. And I said that. When you got a group of 10 new guys, expectations are extremely high, which they should be. But you got to find ways to win. So the one thing I am proud of is we found a way to win tonight, shooting 3 for 23.
Kind of on that, you mentioned Mason really struggled tonight, kind of the first time we've seen a game like this in a while. Same with MJ, but you did have Colby who stepped up and KT and different players. What is it like, kind of what's the messaging to just next guy up?
Yeah, be a team guy, prepare each day, be process driven, produce in practice, watch extra film. I was telling those guys on air, we got these little tracking devices, right? Connects on, and they just don't let us practice. We're very by the book, so we don't get a ton of practice time, right? So you get to about a 500 workload, and we shut them down. And, that's about an hour practice yesterday. That's it, So every rep really matters. I shared Tom Brady's stuff with them this week. I watched a documentary on Brady and talked about leadership and not skipping steps. And I knew this was coming. That's the worst part, I think, as a coach. You certainly would rather win than lose because, let's call it like it is. You lose home games against quad 3s or quad 4s, you're done, right? Like your resume is toast. So at this level, you got to be on edge every day, right? Like, it needs to be our Super Bowl every day. It's been my Super Bowl since I got this job, right? Like, every day I'm ready to go. Like, it's go time. There's 9,000, 10,000 fans that we don't want to let down. And we got to prepare the next 2 days because I think UTEP will be coming in angry, right? Like, they played a great first half the other night against LMU, and LMU kind of, beat them in the second half. So you're getting a team that's coming off a loss. Weber State, let's call it like it is. They should have beat Utah. The game was won. Right? Like, the game was over. They should have beat Utah out of the Big 12. They didn't. So they came in here. They didn't hang their hats or their heads. They came out and punched us. And I love that team. Like, I hope they win every game. Obviously, it helps our numbers, too.
I asked about the defensive pairing of Colby and Elijah. When they're on the floor together, there's a lot of havoc, a lot going on. What works for those two, especially in the press? Yeah,
that's a good way to put it. It's a lot of havoc, right? It's a lot of havoc. It's a lot of... Spencer Nelson was a great player here. He understands basketball. If you look at Elijah's hands, they're enormous. If you look at Elijah's arms, his wingspan is enormous. Colby can move laterally like no other. So those two kids, will be ball hawks, right? There'll be guys you can just really turn people and wear people down, and that takes a toll on your offense. So we got to continue to do that, and we also want some man-to-man. But once again, we gave up 73. If the offense wasn't so bad, we probably are in the 60s, in the fouls. So we got to clean up the fouling. You put them at the foul line 26 times. Or was it 28? It's ridiculous. 28.
Colby mentioned a rule change defensively. I don't know what it was specifically. What is that rule change that's leading to some of these fouls?
Well, it's not really a change. It's an emphasis, right? And every year, Tony back there sends a video I got to watch, right? Or in the Mountain West, and you got to know the rules. And early in the season, man, I thought that was a hard game to officiate. Like, there was a lot of, they're coming in, flying in for rebounds. We're trying to hit them. Our guys kept coming to the huddles, and we're getting pushed. Well, you got to push back. Like, enough's enough. Hit them first, and you won't have that. But it's just putting your arm bar on guys. It's a foul. You're impeding their progress. So I thought Vern and that crew was pretty good. They might have missed a couple, but that's life. Like, officiating's hard. Like the one guy said, I wouldn't want that job. I mean, it's brutal. They come into an arena, they get screamed and yelled at. It's like going on the road. It's no fun.
Was there any hope that Drake would come back?
I got to talk to Brett. No, Brett's the best trainer I've ever been around. I think him and Brandon, our strength coach, do as good a job as anybody. And when they tell me somebody can't go, I'm not playing guys, right? Like, I would never do that. Drake wanted to go, but Brett said there's absolutely no way. And you got to trust your trainer. There's a reason he knows more about that stuff than I do.
Not to kind of keep beating the point, but just with the three.
You can keep beating it. Go ahead.
Just what have you seen? Is it just shots aren't falling, or are you seeing something more?
Yeah, I mean, it happens, like you can't. It was like last year, I got emails, and I love it because our fan base is awesome, about free throws. They wanted to know if we should make noise during the free throws inside the spectrum. I mean, I thought that was one of the neatest emails, and I think it was from a herd member. Should we make noise? Because we were like, I think us and I think Utah last year was like, we couldn't make free throws for the longest time, and we finished bad on the year, but we got better. I think this team can really shoot the ball. I mean, they'll see it go in, whether it's Saturday or, in Charleston. You just got to keep shooting them. And 23 is not enough. Like, that's not a lot of threes, to be honest with you. Sean, you're late, man. What are you doing back there?
Early print deadline.
Oh, okay. Thanks, guys. See you Saturday.